Always is.
Yeah, sure. And Aspas, he's
Beginning was great too. Yeah, I should probably go back and watch it at one point. Okay, C9 on defense, MIBR on attack. We got the Aspas raid boss. Let me turn the cluster down in my head.
Only 2 on other agents. This will be his
Aspas
third
raid boss and
him off it, and Oxy still locking that agent.
They saw both. Okay, that's good info. They want to do some kind of punish over towards here. They can take a lot of space. There was a recon, so they know that they're taking A main control.
And look how quickly C9 have got that as a heavy read. They started rotating players B almost instantly.
But Vic is still posted up in A main. His
They
position
wanted to
really
check the trip to see if they could jump up on the
It's going to be the playmaker in this particular spot, MIBR.
big duel at A main.
Oh,
Vic, really? I mean, he's getting crunched. Getting crunched, he goes for the 1v1. This one not bad.
Settle in a little bit here, and they're digging deep into the extremities of the site. It's going to be a very difficult retake to try and attempt if you are Cloud9.
They've got so much post-plant utility for this. Fragment grenade, salvos coming through, pull on the post-plant as well. It looks almost impossible for Cloud9.
There's a nade flash in your face if you add sin, but you just want to be buying time, staying alive for as long as humanly possible. Cloud9 able to dissect various portions of it, as you said, the post-plant util.
Didn't even have to use the Astra Suck as well. Okay, this was nice from MIBR. This is good as well. It's good reaction from the drone that went in. I love that they were calm with the trip as well. They wanted to see if they could actually try and get over it. They dealt with A main good as well because they got the plant and then they decided to pinch, right? You've seen these two go as they had the plant with the double smoke. They handled this really, really well.
Against Mitch getting that pick, and they're always a team who's going to be kind of testing and taking as much space as they can in these rounds.
Nice! Let's go.
It's a 3K from Aspas as well to get that pistol.
I do want to pay a little bit of attention, though, to that Verno drone that you saw at the start of the round. It went over towards B with the pullback smoke.
Okay, they're allowed 2 deaths.
Normally, that's the drone is going to be where MIBR actually finish. You see, C9
the knife
fighting
hits
heavy
3
over this area, but I think MIBR are just
the knife hits 3 and they heard the dash. So if the comms are good fast, they know where 4 are.
C9 with this kind of comp is going to be to find out
now
where
they
the
know what all
Duelists
5
are
are.
back away from them. You certainly don't want to be taking close-range fights against anyone like Net with a classic in his hand, either.
Still checking corners, maybe because Yori.
So them already following up a lot of the sound cues.
Mitch is already outside.
Yeah, leading the way in, just trying to weave in and out behind the pillar as well. Flash up and over, and a decent peek as well coming through.
Flash though.
Zeppa following up. Nice little 2-piece on top of it. Classics in hand.
Okay, any extra def is the one.
Not been able to do a decent amount of damage here.
No extra def. Got see
here for MIBR. Second round on the board. Be able to reclaim some of those guns.
Yeah, and it's not too bad at all, actually.
Javi, thank you so much for the prime, bro. Appreciate the 5 months.
Into the round, and they come away with 3 players alive, so they're still going to have a pretty excellent
You
bonus.
pretend to know things in blood chat.
I mean,
I like to feel like I know
stuff,
but
he has a big bonus here. He might even have some kind of like post-plant ult to be able to work with on the waylay. So my eyes are on him. Where's he looking the path? Like I said, last time MIBR were on the attack side,
got
double
fried,
dashes into back holes, double dashes into secret, but
so
this time
sick.
maybe exploring mid.
With this comp, Aspas has a lot of
dude, everyone was getting it.
Be it the drone
it was incredible.
Or Astra utility coming in to
no
assist
one was
him,
safe.
I think it's such a perfect agent for him to play. You heard, I believe it was Oxy who said that he expected all the best Jets to be playing Waylay. Well, this map he's not, but Aspas locking that down.
My humble king doesn't consider himself one of the best Jets, apparently. That's a big kill to find on.
Good amount of pressure over towards her as well as question mark.
They do all of their same protocols, but then they double swing
My
through
pick'em says otherwise.
So
in Pacific for sure.
I
actually have no idea what I'm doing in Pacific.
Last time was only the first time that MIBR had showcased this Waylay comp, so you know that C9 are going to have looked at those VODs. You know that they're going to be expecting certain things, and MIBR's coaching staff are adding twists onto what they showed previously, like this one, a fake full B hit into a double lurk through double door.
And going into Yoru comps, these long pauses in the mid round are so strong.
Yes, what the hell?
Out that gate
that would get you banned normally.
And as it fades, they'll slowly start to walk up towards B. Only 2 defenders here for C9.
Big knife against the back wall here. Mitch is under a lot of pressure.
Whoa.
Heat's being turned up against him, flash in your face as well. Needs a bit of help, and a bailout potentially. Run and gun is ordered up here.
Where's the bullets going?
Reset of the aim. Rifle in hand, Zeppa. Delivering death from above.
Exec was kind of sick though, right? You two?
Oxy. Oh
my goodness, this guy's a beast.
Sharp, precise. Watchful eye onto it, defends it, gets the plant down now. Leaves Vic in a very awkward spot. Has to isolate these fights.
Dude, this guy's aim is crazy on this. This was a lovely little exec. The Utah was honestly awesome.
It's the two rookie players for MIBR coming in.
I feel like Fraud's doing so much work with this team.
Different regions. I don't think anyone thought
made
Cortesia from Brazil
insane
and
shots
Verno
into this round
from NA Challengers would be on a team whatsoever this year, but despite all odds, despite all expectations, those two and the rest of the team
headshot after headshot
have managed to gel very well, integrating him into this roster and winning a key bonus round there.
Imi doesn't look very impressed about that
early
one.
timeout?
We're not going into a tactical pause here. This is a tech
Oh,
pause.
okay. I was going to say, it's very early.
A mouse issue, we're being told, but it looks like more of a strategic problem to me from the outside.
What's the potato head law because of his headshot percent?
No, it looks like it's on the side of MIBR.
Didn't someone do it just because he looks a little like that? He's got the same moustache, right?
But I think MIBR have done a
great
job
anyone
here
looks
of
like
just
the potato guy,
taking
but
what they know
definitely the same
be expecting
moustache.
and adding twists and turns into it. And I like, Mimi, that you pointed out the rookie players, because Cortesia, the way that he's taking those fights towards the end, you wouldn't think that he's a rookie in spots like that. He's super confident just to re-swing back in and take a fight.
And it's almost the exact same thing with Verno, who, after how poorly things went to start this year with NRG,
him a potato head. It was like a big meme in Brazil, right? There's a picture somewhere.
Thus far, it seemed to only work out for MIBR.
Now, just while we've got the tech pause, the casters before us, they were doing
the
the
MIBR
bit where if they said certain
yeah,
words,
that's it.
put the thing in
The
the jar.
MIBR
One of the
org
words that they were
tweeted
not
him.
allowed to say was fraud.
Uh-huh.
That's
Now you're
right.
saying fraud.
This is the law. There you go.
But with an
Despa's
O.
got it.
Right, with an O,
Should I get it up?
right.
I'll
Is
get
the
it
kind
up.
of coach of...
Yeah, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Oh, who do you think is fraudulent on this team?
No, I wasn't saying that. No,
What's the
actually,
implication?
Does that count as a chip in the box? You said the word.
I'm just
asking
saying
the question.
Fraud's doing a great job on this squad, and Mimi's accent's making him sound like a fraud.
My accent. I don't have an accent. You do, buddy.
Right. Okay.
They brought me in to balance out the British on this cast.
America moment.
Yeah, very America moment.
Yep.
Both of the coaching staffs for this team, we don't talk about them very much. And I think that's a bit of a failure on us sometimes too, but often there's not
okay, great start from MIBR. Again, I really like this B-pop that they did. The Utah was super nice. And then, honestly, C9 maybe just didn't play together.
Some of them certainly have been, yeah.
And they could have been a little bit
off,
better.
at least in the short term.
But like, isn't everyone good at all of these
fairly
maps?
open
This should be a
B side here.
banger.
It's all slow to begin with here. Tiptoeing around through mid, but it just
Dude, the
cannot
recovery
root out
is-
Cortesia.
Josh, you're so on the money with calling out Cortesia, because he just has such unbridled confidence, moving all the way from Brazil, playing on a
Yeah, he
bigger
loves
stage,
an
and
angel.
it has not seemed to skip a beat outside of his very first match in this league.
Now that is one of those spots where if he goes down and they end up picking up a rifle off the back of that, we're like, oh, Cortesia, you got caught out in the open there. Maybe a little overconfident from you, hey, buddy? But he takes down both Oxy and Mitch on the anti-eco, and it does work out.
And that's been part of the beauty of MIBR for me in stage one, that
Yeah, can't stop thinking about
basic, boring comps,
At
executing
least he
on them
doesn't
really
pretend
well.
to know what
Ospas
he's
having
talking about.
Incredible individual
It's
performances.
actually just living in my
but
head.
now, like you said at the beginning of the cast, they're starting to pick up more interesting comps. They're starting to play more on meta, and I think we're seeing more strategic depth and interesting stuff alongside just the great team play and individual confidence that these kind of strong Brazilian teams have always been known
No,
for.
I'm so
Fox
jealous,
talked about
man.
that in
It's the most,
interviews too, and he
you're
said
right,
that
it is the most
one of the
perfect double
things that they
flame.
really needed to work on was, at the time, they weren't sure what direction
I'm
the
jealous
meta
I
was
didn't
going
come
in,
up with it.
and so they didn't want to put their eggs in one basket too early on. And after Bangkok, I think it was, listen, there were different ideas about where the meta was going, whether it was double Duelist or whether it was Super Tejo focused, but when you pick up somebody like Verno and your roster doesn't necessarily flex super comfortably into double
Okay, where are they
Duelist
at
unless Odyssey's
ult-wise? Who wants to
having
get
a
the
day or
kills?
something.
Verno 1
I
away,
think it just makes
Cortesia
perfect
2
sense for
away,
MIBR.
Artsin 2 away, Aspas 1 away now.
It's going to be a quick clean-up towards the
Okay,
end of
that's
this
an ult.
round. Cloud9 just tempting to see if they can get any cheeky pick-offs, but they're going to be going down to the
They're in an
spike.
incredible
Left 4
spot.
rounds
Does
in a row now
Imi
for
call a
MIBR.
timeout?
An important game overall for them, to be honest. We haven't really set up the stakes
Relatively
too
rough
much
to
in
deal
this
with
one,
at
but
the moment.
with a win, Cloud9 would make top 4, no matter what, for stage 1, so they'd make it
Locking
into
them
playoffs.
playoffs.
Exactly. And for MIBR themselves as well, bit of a tougher task ahead, because they're 1-1 currently, so this is a very important match for them to try and seal up.
Yeah, sometimes you look back at the end of a round robin, and these are the kind of games in the middle of the stage where you're like, damn, this was actually mega important.
This is the focus of the comp for C9, though. They don't pick the Neon, they lock this Jet, and a lot of that is to get Oxy time with the Operator. Instead, it's going to be over towards A, though, and another one of these thralls.
Yeah, going for the clash here. MIBR biding their time. You can see Util is primed, waiting.
Wait.
Artisan is holding it.
They didn't fire a bullet. Did they pre-shock the knife?
It was pound for pound, though. A lot of Util just trying disjointing all of this, and somehow Artisan's the one who's taking contact, taking point. And this is MIBR being dismantled in the process, just trying to play and weave in and out here. But
nice little anti.
Verno's got nowhere to run. Left up to
Chat, they shocked the knife, right? This was sick.
See if they can pick up the pieces and make something of the rest of this round.
They're so far out of this play, though. Oxy's got an Operator on the other side of the map. They have to retrieve the spike in A main. C9 with a triple lock have just destroyed that A main hold that MIBR were trying to take. They needed to get Aspas into position so that he could ult and exec into the site.
Oxy chill now.
They're spotting these players
They gotta try save. They could just try keep it clean.
Hoping he can take the op out of Oxy's hands. Oxy realizes it. Want to be trying to hold on to this one. If MIBR is going to be meandering around the map at this point.
And what Oxy's op brings to the defensive side is not just his skill with the weapon,
C9 will
but
take this though. Nice little strat from them to fight aggro over towards A. 3k for everyone. Only one armory buy because they got the regen. It's like the most perfect round that they needed to get back into this.
And their Yoru, who are going to be a lot stronger at going for the fights there.
It was nice that they were one away from Verno's ult, right? So it makes sense to fight heavy over towards A main.
Him holding on to it into another round, even if it didn't find
Maybe
a
you
kill
could
here.
argue that MIBR should have used their ult, but they probably have like a set plan with the ult. Feels like this is like a team that has a lot of set.
They know that Aspas has a massive ult that he can just use to obliterate the A site. With the Waylay ult, he can ult towards Secret, double dash into Secret, and basically any spot on site is either getting highlighted by a Tejo drone or cooked by the Waylay. Now, the problem with that is, he can just do it again. And so what, you're just gonna fight A main every single round until he gives up and goes somewhere else? Maybe.
Okay, double kill trip.
But look, MIBR are just back to the well.
I say double kill trip,
okay,
info
C9 are probably
trip,
not
kill
going to
trip.
fight A main with 3 players again, so we can just set up for the
So
exact
they change
same
it up. This is nice from MIBR. They realize that the knife is getting
Flash
shot,
overhead.
so they change up into an insta flash.
For that one, so MIBR
Insta flash with salvos
access to the
close.
front of A here.
Okay, well, in theory, this site hit should be impossible, right? You would just have ult into ult.
I know it's
Like,
coming.
you can actually fill up the whole of the site, and then you just need smoke.
Drone clearing out.
Yeah.
Looks towards Secret. Spots that Secret's completely clear. Now
Do they use double ult or do they use one? They use no ult.
In the midst of all of that as well. And here it is, convergent pass
They have the
through
pressure of the
That's a big
ult. No, they play
connection
off
to
site.
multiple
Wait,
players.
oh my
Armageddon.
god, this was
Keeping these
genius.
players into position, trying to escape to the side.
It's such a shame that he messed up his ult slightly. He kind of got greedy with it.
Now making their ways forwards. It's a no command, let rip, but as it emanates out, it just points the perfect direction for Zephyr to spam through the wall and off onto the flank. Oxy, bide your time, wait it out. You've been handed a freebie. He's going to claim it. It's left now just to Shayna.
It's a shame. I think Verno messed up his ult, in my opinion.
In this spot to tap the spider force out that pull, almost ISOing these fights from an attempt of it still through the cloud burst.
Dude, I love the idea from MIBR though. They know that they get A main, and they know that like C9 are a smart team, so they're gonna play offsite because the ult, like I was saying, right, the ult is just gonna fill up all of this. So then they take the space for free, they ult, and then they try to do an ult combo. It's just the fact that Verno's trying to do an ult for both of these, and I think he just needs to pick one lane.
I'm not sure whether there was a mistake in where the Tejo ult was
Yeah,
put,
I think there
or
was a
whether that's
mistake.
just
I think it's too greedy.
The kind of way that it tessellates onto the
Like,
map.
if he had just gone for just this, it would have been insane. But he ended up just giving him a little gap.
It's a fantastic ult combo.
It's a sick idea from MIBR though. It's like when people used to do pressure of the killjoy ult, and so they just walk onto site contact.
And now grouped all the way up
full
towards B.
process.
But this is where both Oxy and Zephyr are looking to fight with a bit of a bait and switch setup.
Already crossed though behind the box. Oxy has to account for multiple angles here. Snapshot broken as well, so
What teams aren't smart?
able to double up.
Why are you asking me
Not
that?
being forced off this angle. There it is. Wide
We definitely
base
just witnessed
in
a
the air.
game
That's
where
Zephyr with a
people
bit of spam
tanked
to
the
force
most
them out
common
wide into
ult.
the open. There's plenty more targets, so
I'll give
where
you
that
that
came
much, that's it.
from, and Oxy quick to capitalize. This guy is tearing them asunder. Dash back and active. It's be fading down. Doubled up discipline on show here by Cloud9.
Yeah, and do they really stabilize though? Really stabilize. It was like nice run from C9 into small MIBR mistake. I say, well, it is small. It's just ult
A lot more to do where that came from for MIBR.
And then now their money's so good.
Vic's already in their spawn. They're fully
and that big lead that they had is just fully gone.
That's what Oxy did in the previous round too. So C9 super happy to push out behind and either trap them in or flank them as soon as the Vice dies.
Vic should just be able to seal up this round, although it's being cleared to some degree, but Addison just not quite ready for it. Onto that angle, 28 seconds left. Now, Shane gets himself a pick. But in terms of an open side, it's a different ask, isn't it?
The rest of C9, though, they are actually starting to book it over to A. They think there's enough time.
C9 buying half shields. They're the most common users of the regen shields. Like, if you actually look at most of their demos, like, I do think they're a team that people should probably stop buying Outlaw against, even when they have, like, full money. They've been doing it non-stop this whole year. I'm actually surprised teams haven't punished it yet.
You might look at the VOD later and think, damn, I kind of missed an opportunity there.
That is exactly the round you're looking for with this C9 double duelist comp. A bait and switch setup. Oxy going crazy with the operator and completely locking down space towards B long.
But I mean, it's smart from C9. They don't need to. They don't need to do it until someone starts punishing them.
If that stealth drone is being broken,
like they're saving a little bit of money for it each time.
And get at least one shot across.
Yeah, it's basically just all on the drone, and the bait and switch setups like that. Even if they work really well, even if the drone works really well, it's almost always only going to stop one person from being in position. And
at the same time, both of those agents have a get out of jail free card. If it doesn't work out, they're still in a pretty solid position.
Yeah, unless you get hit by the suppress, of course.
It's got to be faster.
No, enough Phantoms to punch at the moment. That's also true.
Yeah, it is.
There's the most Phantoms in America.
C9 has now won every single round since Oxy got an operator online, by the way.
Yeah.
So that is making a
I'm sure if someone will play an Outlaw against them on those rounds, that they'll change it up for sure.
Whether or not he's able to get the kills.
MIBR now have a couple ults online, have the Vice ultimate as well as an Astra wall. I think they're going to want to try and find some kind of solve over towards B. Dealing with Oxy's operator is the biggest problem when you face up against the C9 team.
And I said early on in this game that MIBR are going to look to go away from Oxy and where Oxy and Zephyr are going to be playing. But when he is solo holding one of the lanes of the map with an op, if you go away from him, you're going into the stack, you're going into the strong site. So that's where it becomes less tempting of an option to just do the avoid Oxy strategy. Now, in this round, he's looking to work a pick through mid.
Yeah, huge
so
ults.
Varying up their defensive setup
huge ults at the moment. Huge ults, and all the teams
actually, MIBR
have a lot of money.
Very much defaulting at all when they played against
it's a buy v buy, but it's not like
mostly just grouping
like the most important one ever.
Sometimes they worked some A splits, but this round definitely feels like they're just walking straight into Oxy.
There's a lot to consider. What a snap! Straight up, Aspas removed, taken out of the fight. It's a Duelist head-to-head that we were
the hard one to hit.
Talking about.
A very nice reposition out of the timeout, expecting the mid play. Oxy ready for it. Now C9 get to play from a clean advantage here.
They have lost mid control though. There's going to be a lot of unknowns swirling around Cloud9's head, I think, in terms of, we've lost connector.
Zeppa has a position to punish the solo player coming down long, and that's the spike.
Knife thrown, and oh my god, stomping up through B long. That's a
that was
kill
the duel.
Zeppa taking out Steel Garden.
Okay, knife hits him, so they know for sure he's back at sight. That's a nice
two
though.
Players waiting it out. MIBR in a very good spot. Cosmic Divide.
Dude, I love that. The MIBR util on B looks really good.
Blind fires from the Shockies, an attempt to try and dismiss most of this one, and the adjustments of Oxy just not quite on target.
Might have to be another save.
I'm going to be considering different course of action.
Just get one of those games where everyone's just saving, so we just get all the buy v buys.
Yeah, especially with Vic being
we
able
don't
to
give
retrieve
any
the op. This is definitely a save call here.
Because when they're winning rounds as well, like EVA teams, there's just so many people alive.
The exact spot that you called out, Mimi. He's got the gate crash to try to escape. I wasn't sure exactly what the timing of that was going to look like, but I think that was his second one in the round. So he should have still had like another 10, 20 seconds.
I think MIBR will probably take this as well. I think in the G2 game, if you look at the head-to-head in terms of buy rounds, MIBR came out on top.
I probably should have just
they're pretty legit on their buy rounds. This is a
Especially
nut
with how
shot.
it started, Oxy getting a beautiful kill onto Aspas. And that's all it takes for it to fall apart.
Am I sleepy? No, I had a good nap earlier. Feel pretty good.
Thankfully for C9, that save means they keep their key weapon online. Oxy's still going to have the operator, and this time he's considering joining up with his team on this A main fight that they showed quite a few rounds.
Which implies that they're just going to leave him
They
posted
did get the ult out of them, so big ult advantage for C9. Definitely should be good to take this one. Want to go aggro over toward. Dude, this is interesting. So just in terms of like little mind games over towards A, Mitch fires his shock at the beginning, and then we see Artsin wait like 2 seconds and then throw his knife, and his knife ends up hitting like 3, maybe 2 over towards A. They got a good info from it.
Reactionary. Mitch is looking to try and punish out through mid.
Big jaw.
Sending up a couple of pot shots, and Vic just lands a shot onto Artisan. He was
It's really hard now.
Isolated from the rest of his team.
I do want them to react and double push A main, I think.
They clearly don't realize the spike has been dropped in such an open location, because otherwise they could be.
Is that just because I can see numbers?
Their backs are just open completely towards us, and Aspas may have just realized he has the timing. Oxy
sure, all that.
just peeks back around again, understanding that. Wait a second, massive opening, and right under sewers, just being caught out into the water. Shanum no more. 2 versus 4. Cortesia.
2v4.
Well to salvage the round.
It goes into a 2v3, and they took out the Astra, who had Astral.
An early warning Cypher trip down long.
Yeah, they do get early info, but it's still not the most, like it's not the easiest retake here.
Off this Cypher hat.
Oh, he goes for the good plant as well. Kind of good plant. Like you can still defuse it on the corner. They're going to fight relatively close, but they can still go down long. There's no vision block. Net has 1 smoke.
Salvo's online for Verno as well to stall and delay this one, but you can see them aggro. Aggressive positions.
Say smoke cage.
Looking to see if they can turn it into a 2v2 before this retake even gets started. Oxy trying to clear most of the way here. He's out wide though, and his team nowhere near still. Doubled up almost there in time. Leaves just down to Verno. Primed, holding it with the salvos. That's off the first tap. Forcing these players forward, stunned up, has to ISO. Every single fight coming in his way.
Yeah, just got it.
Just enough time on the clock for Cloud9 to win that.
God, it would have been mad there if the stun had actually won them the round.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was gonna like commit on the right guy with the stun.
Half to play with. This round looked a little lost from MIBR, I would say, as soon as their idea of going for that kind of A split.
And as soon as that Sovolt came in, it wrecked their timing.
Water is really ambitious. I think it's quite unlikely you're going to get away with that against good level teams like C9.
And I think even
Tanuki, hello mate, good morning.
Round, the way that MIBR have been defaulting, they haven't managed to get lurks that deep into street over towards B at all throughout
but
this
I think by the double Duelist somehow, I think it's the best Yori map.
On this side of the map.
It's fine.
Now, of course,
okay, now C9 go to their old school game plan. Every single time full passing over towards A, take into instant Yori TP. So they hadn't really been doing this, but now it's so late in the game and they've shown that they're playing differently to the other demos, so they let fall back into like what is probably their norm.
Gotta go to pick up back mid. Once more though.
What's the worst team you can make with at least 1 player from each region, mate? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, dude. But I appreciate the 50 bits, man.
Zephyr has resolved. They're happy to play full retake here and might even consider pushing through a flank.
Plant out in the open. Bit of stray spam by Net. Counter spam in order as well. Push this guy back.
Crazy question.
Now getting a bit of a run on and a move
dude,
on.
this guy's aim is just too good, bro.
Cortesia not to be removed. And now firmly embedded in through mid. This is causing all sorts of worries into the back of the Cloud9 players' minds. Dimensional drift out wide. Doubled up. And a swift dismissal. That's Aspas in through the back of the halls.
Really
rifle in hand. Seals up the round.
That round is just all Cortesia in mid. Getting a massive 2K there. Dismantling C9's flank, and at that point, what could have been a really strong Yorwolf clearing into backside and flushing out the MIBR players there, has no one actually in a position to follow up. And the round ticks away, and MIBR take a pretty solid lead now in the first half.
I'm not disagreeing that Cortesia was the difference maker there, but just to focus in on the B defensive setup as well. Net's got a trip that's supposed to catch, I think, Aspas as he goes for that double dash into back halls. And Aspas just glid over the top of it. And then when the plant comes down in the open, they also don't deny the plant with spam either. So it looked like a very, very soft defense on B. I think
popular on this map.
You can hard anchor
It's not
way
well.
more against
Honestly,
this
the Omen
Waylay
flash
comp.
is still kind of good on this map. But like, it's a heavy like after plant map. The the Astra ult is like really important, especially as like teams used to B spam all the time. So when you have the Astra ult, you can actually like deny that.
Have to be more proactive with how you
like
play it
all
when
of
you
the
are
Astra
locking in the
utils are
Cypher comp.
incredible,
When you
really,
have the
on this
Vise, you're
map.
going to have a lot of hard stall
It's probably
util
like
to buy time to
the
rotate
it still
players
is the
in
map
heavily
with the Omen
and have
flash is like the least
a lot of people
effective,
ready
even
to
though
just
you
fight
do
as the
have
spike
some
is going down.
nice flashes.
With Cypher, you don't have as much
Like
actual
B
stall.
changes a
You need
lot
your Cypher
of how the
being
map's
in there,
played.
being proactive and getting his teammates into the site. Another timeout called for C9 now. Trying to find these last 2 rounds of the half.
And I'm looking at their economy, seeing if they're going to go for the operator again. I would say that they were having the most success when they were just kind
It's
of
also like not that
allowing
many
Oxy to hold
one-ways
the
for Omen.
opposite side of the map to the rest of the team. So you have Cypher information all throughout mid, and then C9 decide to fight over B or
at least the one-ways you can
then Oxy
do
goes the
like
opposite.
are kind of the same
Oscars
as
has one off his ultimate, Verno as well.
an Astra.
They put a lot of emphasis on getting that tool
Or
online,
maybe
so
you could
does
argue
look to
that
be another fight
like
towards
some of them
that.
are actually better with Astra smoke. They can leak out and give you like
Gearing up for now.
little angles at the bottom.
Barry's going to be dropping soon enough here.
Okay, so the change from MIBR is to fight over towards A main again, and it has been just a mind game over towards A main the whole time.
That's past full sprinting.
Money is
I like this from C9. They're reacting players into
now
mid.
actually low for
Trying to
C9.
flush any
They
low
lose A
picks
main,
there, be
full
ready to
pass and push over
fight
towards
back through,
middle.
maybe even a push, a flank
Dude,
in
this
if
drone's
this
going to
does
see
turn
no one
into
over
an
towards
AFC.
A. They might just send it.
They know that Cortezia has been fighting pretty aggressively on the lurk, so if you
Yeah, they're
pick him
just
off,
sending
then
it.
suddenly
Knife
the
goes
dice
in,
falls
hits the
down.
Astra, doesn't hit
Just
anyone
swung it
else.
out.
They do get the kill
Backed
in
up
middle
there,
though, but they
slow to
change
the
so
crawl.
much.
One bullet
So
to
now
the
what
head
do they
will
do?
finish him off here.
Do they
Open
try
access,
push
though.
for the one, or
MIBR
do they
get
hold
themselves
aim?
into the A site, get a plan down.
You don't even need to
They're
flank
against
retake
Astra,
here because
I
you're
think they
always
had to
worried
push.
about the
They
flanks
probably
in
messed
MIBR.
up.
It's
The
the
threat's
wall.
there.
Armageddon. This is a lot of ults being laid down on top of it. Saturated to try and slow them to a crawl. Fights being taken in through the back of the site. The positions you can play in, kind of isolated right now. There's a lot of chaos thrown in. Time ticking though with a spike drop down here. Shayna pushing back, looking for that free fight. Leaves it just down to Verno. 1v3. Flash through the
Oh, it
wall.
was a nice shot, but
Instantaneous is the trade-off there by Zephyr. So quick with the response. C9 looking to try and
yeah,
drag
I
this one
think
back to
because
even
of
for
that
the first
Astra
half.
ult, they
I
had
like the
to
idea to try and rally there for MIBR, but
They had
C9
to
makes
take
some
it.
really
The
good
idea with
macro
the
decisions
tail ult wasn't
throughout.
that bad.
Fighting into mid here, flushing that lurk.
Like force him
basically
through
the
and
first
double
time this half.
swing.
Cortezia has been getting so much value in that part of the map.
I mean, funnily enough, they have actually been trying to double fight him occasionally, and he just kills both of them.
You gotta take 4, Josh.
Verno's always
Yeah.
lost
Don't take any
alive. I mean, he's
risks.
meant to be.
And then, I mean, just
He's
find
playing
some
on
nice
attack and he
levels
has
as well to
salvos.
Make their way back through the site.
Like him and the Astra should be
And Oxy
lost
finds
alive
an
every round.
operator again.
I think
If
small
these two
adaptation for
weren't
Cortezia in this
lost
final
alive
round
every
would just
round,
be to
something
sit back a little
fundamentally is
further, or
gone
maybe
wrong
even just
with
go
how
with
they
the
play
team
the
and
map.
Don't worry about controlling mid or going for the lurk. MIBR have got ults to be able to get in onto site. No command. Aspas's Waylay ult as well. They should be able to absolutely obliterate Vic on A.
What's the worst game I've ever watched on stream?
hold his
Damn, you're gonna
ground.
ask me that after you just watched Fury on Power?
The anti-KO setup as well. Both of these.
No, we've had some
trips
bad
being
ones,
thrown
man, in the
down.
past.
Cypher not
Most of
gonna
the
get
bad
turned
maps
off.
that I've watched, though, is
Picking a position
like
to
it
get
normally
out,
is
though,
Pearl.
and Ospas
People
will
seem to have a
save his
really
ult.
rough understanding of this map.
Nice speed straight in.
There was
These trips
There was a
are
Heretics
awkward.
game, 2023
Oceans
Heretics
but
maybe.
can we save
I
a
think
conversion
Zeeks
pass
was
now?
calling,
Retake
or
that's gonna
Mixwell
be
was calling.
primed,
Someone was
ready,
calling.
waiting now for
That was
Cloud9, still
that was
suppressing
one of the
time here,
worst
but a quick
maps I've
pick
ever
up.
seen.
Oduada's in, here it is. Slowed down now, in through the back. And
I think that's
this
up
is it,
there,
the
man.
go button has been hit. Aspas
The
looking to
EMEA
lay claim
Pearl.
to a couple of more lives where he's at least hunting, but now scurrying straight backwards, and there's Oxy in your face. Shorty in hand once more still. MIBR have control of this.
Someone
one.
was calling, yeah.
It's
Someone was
quickly
calling and they
being
didn't have
wrested away from
an
them. There's a
idea, like they didn't
2v2
have a
scenario.
clue what they were
Cloud9
doing.
In the midst of it, first tap, forcing out that pull.
Yeah, another
Showers
tap
on for
becomes
next.
the.
That's Verno here. Zephyr.
I like that they tried to stun on top of
Another
it to
tap,
get a
forcing
kill.
wide. He
It's
is
kind of cool.
stunned up. Bit of damage into the process. Time is of the essence. Half.
We let him get half.
Wincon's
Ooh.
but no kill off the backside of it. That's
Ooh,
7 to
let
5.
him get half. He would have had
Finish
time.
of MIBR on his first
down to
half
the
of
duel.
Pearl.
Switching sides.
Hotspots both times we've seen him use the converging path, saving it for the post plant, fighting forward, and it's really such an effective stall tool. It sounds
Hey, we
simple to be like,
tried.
oh,
No,
it
it
slows
wasn't
down,
you,
slows
Boo.
you down
It
when
was
you're trying to retake, but I've
was
seen him use
2023.
super well
It was-
here to
it
buy
was-
enough time to just let the post
It
plant
was like
fringe win it out.
Zeeks. It was that. team.
MIBR have absolutely
It was
cooked on
before
this
they
map. On their attack side
before they
specifically,
put
it
Weber
looks
into
good.
play.
They got 7 rounds here.
It
They
was you?
beat
Wait, were you in
G2
that
on this
team?
map earlier as well.
Nice, Verona.
You can see where they're finding
Wait,
success.
who was calling though,
Yep,
Boo?
certainly
Because it wasn't
can. And we're
you.
going to be finding out a little bit more as well, what they've got up their sleeves in the arsenal, potentially, I should say, on the second half.
Maybe it was
Oh,
you, and
don't
I've
go
just
anywhere.
I've just named you as the worst map I've ever seen. It wasn't you calling. There's no way. I refuse to believe it. You can say I'm pretty confident it wasn't you calling. Was it in the EMEA? It was EMEA. I might even be able to find the game for you. Let's have a little look. VLR. So go all the way back. Regular season. Ah, dude, he played so much before Weber played. Against BBL? Nope. Liquid? Nope. Versus Foot, you reckon? Oh, yeah, it might be this one. It might be this.
There is Endo with his favorite caster, Mr. Rivers.
You're doing great on your play-by-play.
I think it's this one.
debut, Wyatt.
Thank you. You know, I'm really trying
But
hard.
Onavi.
I'm trying hard, and here we are. Definitely not Wyatt, as it says at the bottom.
It might
I
be.
don't
It
know,
might have been the
was Rossi on
second one.
drugs? Navi
one.
He was coming in with some energy. I wasn't ready to meet. I wasn't ready to match his freak for that. But the guy was going at a million
Nah,
miles an hour
it's the
and
other
throwing
one.
shade to everybody.
It's the
I
other
think
one.
it was the high of
It's
beating
definitely
Fury.
Yeah, he was on
it's
pure
definitely the
adrenaline
fast
from
one.
beating
Bro,
Fury.
It's the
I
foot one.
stepped in.
Tell you that.
I didn't know what the
It was the
context
calling. Okay, thank God
And
for
I'm
that.
like, what's going on here?
I thought absolutely owned
It's
you.
nice to see the
Dude, that
players
was
coming elated
probably
off
the
the
worst
win, to
side
be
I've
honest. We don't
ever
normally
seen
see
on
all of
attack
the players
ever.
like
Yes.
jumping around at the end of the win.
We'll see how that energy stays through the rest of the stage for Leviathan. Hopping into the second half, though. C9 on attack with the double duelist comp. Oxy and Zeppa were great in the first, and they have a fight towards Art.
Here it is, Aspas. Slight bit of bait.
Damn,
and he
bro, they went to spam him
anyway.
as well.
Bullets flying through.
1-0 at the moment for the
Getting
Pistols.
one is even good there for him, to be
Yeah, it
honest.
is.
They were
I
completely
got saved.
free-firing
Nah,
his
dude,
position.
I just knew it couldn't be
Zeppa's
him
been
as well. I
embedded
was
in
pretty
A main. The
confident.
team will call back towards him.
And Zeppa, despite being down 5-7, has been a monster individually. Will have his opportunities in this attack half as well, especially with Oxy going down, because it puts
A nice
more
pistol
pressure on
though
him.
at the moment, right? They
the
create
spear.
pressure. Then they insta-group over towards
No gate
A,
crash
so
to
if you're
get in this
splitting,
start. Just has to contact
you have
that
to be
with
worried
Lee.
from here anyway, even though
Right to the
no one's
side.
actually here. Knife
Bit
goes
of
over
spam
towards
from the
middle, it's a
pixel
great
angle.
shot.
That is ridiculous stuff from Zeppa,
Bono
and he's
has
going
to
for
go
even
keep.
more here. Laying siege to the site, and it's A available. Plant down now,
Looking like a
extension into
pistol
the round
each.
here for the pistol. That is in. Stallone making this play. And, wow, okay, net was low enough here. Rapid turnaround. MIBR finding their ways back into this potential pistol, but return of the fire from Mitch. Drop down into pit. Cortese is going to know at least where one of the players are, but Vic playing the long con. Tuck to the side, and the gamble goes the way of Vic here.
Yeah, I was
Cortese
worried
just
then.
not checking the corner.
I'm a
Okay.
fan of C9's macro.
1-1.
I think they
Dude,
really,
yeah, I agree.
with
C9
this
are
new
lovely on
roster,
this map.
found a style that works for them. A lot of their attack side calling has been really
part of the
solid. I
team.
think it's the defense that we've been
Weber
focused on.
0-2, share the
maps
blame.
like
That's very
Ascent,
true.
for example, with their
That's
double
very
sentinel
true.
comp. But
Dude, I'm not
it's
going to miss
good,
up on an
sensible stuff.
opportunity
I
to
mean,
flame
leaving
Neil or
Zeppa
Weber.
inserted into A main, returning back to him, and then getting the
If
entry
anything, I
through,
blame them
waiting
more.
for those refreshable timers to come back. It's all good stuff.
And it's nice to say that for an IGL and Mitch, who, you know, he had his heyday when Valorant was fresh, was when Tens was the best player in the world.
Dude, you can't be bringing that out. Bro peaked in high school kind of stuff.
But that
What are you
was the
talking-
narrative. That was legitimately the narrative
Bro, where
for
are
a
you getting
while,
this
and then he
from?
had his
Who
good
told
year
you?
in
This
Tier
is
2
a
last year,
Weber
got
thing
this
for sure.
opportunity with C9
Right.
after they controversially dropped
Who's been saying
Rossi,
this, Boo?
who knows your name, in the
Yeah,
offseason.
definitely knows my name.
Yep. And
Give me one
brought
name,
him
Weber
in,
or
and
no.
I think people had low expectations, and thus far he's definitely been surpassing that as a leader and as an individual for C9.
Yeah, Mitch
So I'm saying
actually...
he didn't peak in high school.
He didn't peak in high school. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. He actually looked good when he was calling for them in one of the off-season tournaments before they brought Rossi.
Okay, let's see. This was nil today.
Red Bull
This guy,
homegrown
man.
qualifier in Seattle.
Sure, there you go. You even
I don't even want 5 shots in nil. He's already injured his knee. He's already down, man.
Pretty solid too. And once again here,
They're
they
already
managed
down
to
in the
navigate
dumps.
away from the stack from MIBR, finding the right place to end the round.
Laser, thank
and
you
get
so much,
an
bro. I appreciate
extremely
that in the
simple,
YouTube chat. Thank you for the support, dude.
correct macro call, which avoids all of the potential variants.
Okay, who gets to farm these?
I got nothing.
Who gets to farm these? Because I'm looking at these two thinking... I mean, honestly, I'm looking at this thinking...
Yeah, I would imagine this is a die to the spike kind of round, to be honest with you, isn't it? And this is sometimes where you see, like, one of the C9 players is just going to run forwards and see if they can find the people who are waiting to die to the spike.
Looks like Zeppa is the gladiator.
Had his knee no, yeah, dude, had his knee playing badminton, man. The classic one.
Doing a 1v5.
Yeah, don't want to give away any guns, so Rifle's going to be nice and safe.
Dude, nice chance, what?
Yeah.
They got the Hunts.
Casual reminder of who you're playing against.
I've liked some of the innovations coming out of Tier 2 of using like Teo Missile plus Molly to
Aspas?
all die without getting ult orbs early. Saves a lot of time.
Aspas, bro.
Aspas?
We are not saving the stinger there.
What just happened? Saved?
We are not saving the stinger
I looked away
there.
from the screen because the round was over.
That's got to be a tech problem,
Wait, can you still ask? Yeah, Laser, what do you...
Did his keyboard stop
type
working?
it?
He pulled...
Oh, wait, what did I miss?
Why are you trolling?
He's trolling.
Chat, what did I miss?
Also, like, he's not even the one that gets punished for this.
He accidentally went... Oh, he played it... Wait, he did his...
You legend.
Oh, he did this, missed the spike. Oh, God, missed the spike defuse, and then Arden... Oh, boy, he used his E.
Aspas, you better pop off this round, mate.
Well, up in hands.
This is my IGL right here, though. This is actually my guy. Oh no, he's locked in. Oh boy. Oh no.
Minus 4,700.
That
and now
is
they're
not
retaking.
ideal, and this is flooding in fast as it happens.
Oh, don't show me Artesine's POV. He's got nothing.
Down to the sides.
Has he got nothing?
Past these smokes, and again, that's
The
gonna be
monster.
Lay it down into the back of the hall still.
Did great though.
Fire, lay it down by these Cloud9 players, looking to try and combine their might, and Zeppa with a cleanup. Trade, instantaneous, Shanum slipped his way in through onto the site. And tappy with the rifle.
It's really snowballing, man.
Now,
oh, that's diabolical.
A lot to talk about.
Oh, that's diabolical.
A lot to break down, a lot to discuss.
Oh, that's
really.
diabolical.
Oh, he doesn't get anything with the op.
Is that a vibe destroyer?
Could be a vibe
It's
destroyer.
just like my vibe, Brent.
Ooh, if I'm Artesine in that spot, I'm gritting my teeth and thinking he's a great player.
What year in Valor do you think had the biggest jump in terms of overall improvement?
And C9, I think, in that spot, maybe don't even realize. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, they did do a great job.
I think teams really worked it out in like 2023, to be honest.
Good spin.
Artesine is now on a judge.
Like beginning in 2023.
Filthy things with the judge.
Like
so
again, I feel there's like 4 teams that have worked out, and then everyone started copying like end of 2023. Most people got it.
Players down and A gets tagged into the process. I think he's hiding his intent there. He had the pistol out. But Cloud9 looking
I would probably say
2023. Up and over, just spots the head. Right over to the side there. Shanum, though, plucks Oxy out of the sky.
Champs 2021 to Champs 2022 is a huge jump. That is also true. There's been a big jump every year, really. It doesn't feel as much this year, just purely because of meta and map change. There's too much thrown in.
Gun seeking to be reclaimed here by Artesine. Does actually end up picking it up. Tucked to the side. It's an important fight for Net to win out.
Ooh.
Disciplined by Artesine, not enough to really survive into the midst of all of that, though. Cosmic Divide.
They all got Astra Suck. They only just gone through the ult.
Some degree,
now.
MIBR looking to see if they can get themselves into this one. Smoke blooms up.
Yeah, it's all about protecting this.
Nice and early here. Cloud9 still working with that player disadvantage, but a bit of spam might just
a bit of spam, but they might think it was the diffuser. Net's crazy on that. He did so much. This duel,
he's just ridiculous.
Yeah, this duel gave him everything.
He was in passenger princess mode all the first half. They were avoiding his sight.
What the hell?
Comes out into the second.
Gets the first kill and then he gets 2 spam kills.
For C9. It started rough. This shot from Shannon was incredible. And then a silly judge kill only to somehow bring this back, working all the way through Art.
This is a 3v5, and Nets, I think, got 2 of those kills just pure spamming into the smoke, right?
Okay.
And then jumps back in through.
Yeah, I like that though. I like that
I was a bit confused why MIBR
there's definitely a
were trying to
couple of
put too much
players there
pressure
that might
forwards
just
into
be like,
Art
yeah, I'm
and
pretty sure I
into
killed the diffuser off the 2
main,
spams.
But they were relying on the
They
fact
just
that
went
Shen
for it
was still
anyway,
alive
no
and they
matter
could
what,
play inside
time
the
was low.
smoke, I think.
Good.
A gamble that didn't
Force
pay
him
off.
down to
Now
the
C9 in the
eco.
driving seat of this half, MIBR.
Dude, it's a rough
Some
couple
rough
of buy rounds for
money.
MIBR. That was obviously
Yeah,
had
MIBR have had a
the
couple of
op
tragedies here to
fiasco
open
with
up
the
their
stinger, and then we
They are going to be
had
relying on a big individual round, I think, from
and then we
Aspas at
had
some
the
point here.
5v3 in the afterplant. They took a long
Does have the
time
Hero Guardian this round,
pushing
but
through the
not in the best position
Astro.
to get value. He might have a chance though. A couple members of C9 heading his way.
Yeah.
Slow and steady, though. It's going to create openings for MIBR to capitalize. Trying to rip off a head or two, because he's here. Feeling the heat, and a couple of bullets to the chest still alive.
Oh boy, that pause is deadly.
Now he needs to dominate this position.
It's
Up
chill
for
now.
long. Still taking
Yes,
point.
lovely.
It's a light speed as well. Gets out of dodge, so it's going to be a constant nuisance now at the back of the minds of these Cloud9 players, and they were to try and take a fight a little bit further forwards, not anticipating these angles here. Jump spot reveals the hand anyway. It's a gun given up and over. Mitch in a very difficult spot. The squeeze being applied to him. So what a flick with an adjustment. Mitch could be an absolutely legendary play. Cooked up 7 bullets left to work with. Just needs the timing, just needs to take it. Waiting for the player to wade right in. Versus Varno!
Bro,
It's
so
all Varno.
unlucky, dude. It was
It's
such a
today.
good go at it. Dude, that
Nice
180
chance
shot
of
was
greatness
sick.
there.
That was a disgusting shot.
Oh, it was so nice.
The
yeah.
180 flick to make that nearly doable. I was worried for a moment.
But it was this moment from Aspas earlier on. You asked for the Aspas round, he delivers a massive 2K there, and not only is it those kills picked up, but it segments C9 off, forces them to go into that disadvantaged fight towards spawn. And Mitch's heroics not enough. Aspas now going to be purchasing the operator.
But remember, last time, this didn't get any value at all. Completely caught, predicted, and dealt with.
This time, there's a couple players heading his way.
Yeah, everybody. He's got the stampeding hordes.
There's going to be a clash developing. Flash into the face. It's going to force that refract immediately straight back. Salvos, Hunter's Fury trying to be used. It's going to ease the pressure that's coming out their way on either side.
It's chaos, man. Prius has no idea who to spectate. Damn, Varno gets oh my god, Varno, but the ult was strong for that.
Lay claim to the site with reinforcements arriving. MIBR.
God, they didn't realize the guy's locked in.
To correct the course of the round.
Oh my god.
Side, but as I say that, Vic,
Oh god.
Oh my
No,
goodness.
how did they lose
What
this?
is
Dude,
going
Fraud
on?
is gonna lose his
From the
mind.
brink, Cloud9 just bring it
Two
straight back.
facing.
They leave it into the
One,
hands of
then
Cortesia
one.
to see if he can make anything
The
of this
drone
round
goes
at all.
in. Spots both.
C9 walking all
And
the
then
way
they could
back
just
through
chill
spawn
and
to B.
ult. And they
Cortesia
lost the
does have a
ult.
bit of util there, maybe a flash to get info.
No, I think they've completely cooked him. I mean, he has no idea at the moment. They could be looking to still finish A. They could be clearing out different positions on the site. Only just now is he thinking about backing up and headed towards the other side of the map.
Did I see the Varno cam? No, but I mean, I would be
This is gonna be
super
so
annoyed
tough
at
'cause
these
Vic,
two
Mitch could be positioned
if I was
in
him.
any number of a multitude of spots. Especially if they bait this wall out. Oh, that's not a bait.
Hard committal. Yeah, Mitch is locked off for at least a few seconds. No worries though. Slow play by Cortesia.
The ult is so fine. It's on the two that died here. Like the ult should be to bait it out, and he's like doing the ult once he's seen them there, and then he knows his Inferior's team should be alive. He's just like gone through the process of it. This is an absolute shocker of a round.
I mean, the opening kills there.
It's outstanding, and it's shades of the last match Vic played on that Ascent. I think a 6.0 KD against Leviathan. He was incredible there. And in this round,
They do so much.
Varno
He's getting
clearly
info.
did it. But these shots from
Why are we
Vic,
not
my
tucked
God.
in? I mean, it's great shots, but
Yeah, they're trying to hold a crossfire there.
he's droning. Like they give him one once.
2v4, the Cloud9 win. 2 rounds earlier, they won a 3v5,
Yeah.
and then they almost won a 2v4 again on their anti-eco, admittedly. Werner's got head in hands at the moment, just trying to compose himself, as the rest of the team, I'm sure, is going through something similar. Because MIBR have been in advantage spots now for a number of the last few rounds, and either struggled to convert or failed to. And almost seemed like in some of these spots they don't expect C9 to be fighting. Like, they think if they get up a couple of numbers, that C9 will just
Might be a language barrier thing there.
Vic continues to fight.
Depends
on
what.
the year, MIBR 5-0.
Does it depend on what his comms are? I mean, I guess,
coming
but
off of beating America's best team, G2.
I just don't think in the 2v4 most people would be even wanting to face this. Like, it should just be natural to just be tucking in.
This round, likely to
And
be
then you just swing off the
11.
contact of the most tucked in
Like
person.
the Oxy purchase too. Keeping track of the money, Outlaw in hand.
He's always got the Blade Storm to lean back on as well.
Aggrofied by MIBR in the opposite section. Looking to take control of A main. Cloud9 get the read on this one. It was sniffed out and heard, so reaction now called for into B. Cortesia doesn't grab the one, he was praying for it.
And C9, again, they do such a good job of navigating these anti-eco rounds.
I mean, the updraft was pretty rough.
Diver, Artisan, he's worked his way all the way in here, but a shot!
No way.
No way! Those shots missing, rifles!
There's no way it's going so badly for
As soon as the
MIBR.
round begins, essentially, they get themselves in and get the plan down for Cloud9. There was definitely a danger here in the form of MIBR potentially being able to do something about it, but it leaves Aspas with only a Sheriff and a 1v3. Zephyr low enough that a single shot to the body will do it. But he's got to find any of these fights, and I think the discipline that's been on display so far by Cloud9. Not going to look to let anything slip too much, as I say that, Net. Peeking out wide, time's ticking away, and with it, options and chances to win.
Yeah, was this a low buy though?
Find themselves ever closer.
Definitely had an opportunity to win that if the short eco came in.
I don't have a big strategic adjustment that MIBR need to make here, because I feel like they're getting into spots to be able to win. It's just about closing things out. I think that's got to come down more to the individual awareness of what risks to take at the end of some of these spots. It's definitely well within their power to still be able to claw this one back, but C9 digging deeper, making the plays when it matters.
And he's got the
a different
folder
look to start this round. Oxy gonna put some attention over towards the street.
And this is where the Vice Wall is.
Enemy tag.
Keep drawing down. There's a lot of presence actually. They hear this.
I mean, this is it for MIBR, by the way. No money.
Oxy.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he can dash out if you wanted to. Yeah, this is the thing with this wall, you can get over the top of it. Oh my god, the updraft has made them be able to get the second kill as well.
And now the map
was
is
nice
just
from Oxy,
exploded. MIBR is scrambling to close off the middle here.
Try and pick up any sort of information they can.
Bro, this guy's aim
Cortesia
is
again to be that difference maker.
insane.
Two-piece Oxy and Net cleaned up. In through main, Shanum. Cloud9 players are going to be steadily walking into him, and they are closing in the net. MIBR working their way in behind. Critical kill. Shanum collects that one, leaves it into the 2v2, and are they going to be expecting this fast off onto the flank? Cosmic Divide cuts up the sight. Stalled out here by the Thorns for now. Buying time for MIBR to get these rotates.
Well, he's going to be able to
It's
hit
all
the
about whether or
plant
not they
and then go
expect
for the
Aspas to
ult.
be in a position that he's in. Steel Garden is good.
And just like
Even
jump
better,
spot to
denying
distract.
all these weapons, and Aspas has been given that perfect
Nice.
timing
You could tap the
again.
spike here.
Immediately capitalizes, it leaves it all to Zephyr. Very difficult spot to be placed in.
It's an
1v2.
incredibly hard spot to win this round, but
Aspas not choosing to play main, just trying to play tucked up close here. Spike, defuse it, already found the first one. Half, to the kill on
man,
top
it's
of it,
unlucky.
but
33
Cortesia,
HP. He gave it a good go. First shot was great.
Those are the rounds
Dude, this guy
that
is
MIBR have been losing all half.
annihilating them, I swear.
And finally, in one of these
Every
close ones,
angel is just
Cortesia
insane.
pulls it across the
Go
line into
TV,
1v1.
thank you so much, Go.
Somehow
Appreciate that.
wins
Thank you for the
one,
16 months.
despite
Appreciate the
this
prime.
ridiculous start to the round from C9.
I think they just stayed there in that mid connector for a little bit too long. I love what they were cooking, Oxy and Net. The way that they went past the wall, the updraft to play Net in, it was all magic. But then sticking in that spot, you're worried about way too many angles. I think they just needed a bit more proactivity in a moment like that.
I think it's waiting for extra numbers to swing, maybe.
Great credit to Cortesia too, because cleaning both of those
Wait, he
kills up
slammed
as
and
quickly as he
broke it?
did, and then still winning the 1v1 against Zepp, who's been on fire.
He
Yeah,
raged
mad
and broke it, man.
And Zepp's got his way up to 20 kills across 20 rounds. Cortesia right there with 19.
He's doing it with no monitor, Josh.
He broke the
I mean,
monitor.
that's incredible, isn't it? He's
Mad
like
impressive.
He's like Daredevil. He's just sniffing them out.
That's sick.
It is a monitor issue for Zeppa that we're fixing up.
Daredevil as well operates through smell. Famously.
What is it? He's like a dolphin, is he?
Bro, I watched a movie from like 2000s. I don't know. Is it?
I think he like clicks or something.
It's like sound. It's it's like bat echolocation or something. I don't
Right.
know, bro.
Yeah.
We need
Dude, imagine
GB
reporting
here
that
'cause
one
he's
in.
the
What
Marvel.
happened?
That's why they have these plexiglass covers between the two
He was
teams,
raging.
so that you can't just shout
Smashed the
really
desk.
loudly and see where it echolocates off them on the other side.
You guys feel like you're lacking a millennium. Vancili's behind us. Do you know? What's your question?
What about?
Ask him.
Are you a Marvel head, Vance? No, he didn't
Dude,
look confident.
Vancili's been studying cave paintings from the early 3000 BC.
He's got no way to clap
Why are you
back,
saying that?
bro.
He was around when they were drawing mammoths falling off cliffs into people with spears.
Can we give this man a
What
microphone
the
to
hell?
show him?
Gosh.
No.
This is all the rage from.
You're gonna dump on him and not even.
This is
give
all
the
the
man a
rage
voice?
from
Yeah,
Sideshow
don't
getting
give
flamed
him
by
a
Rossi.
chance. Don't
He's
give him a
taking it
chance.
out
You're
on
getting it twisted,
Vancili.
Josh.
This is just sitting there
We're going back
innocently.
into the game here as well, so unfortunately, you know, Vancili's not going to have his opportunity to.
He's crying into his Osboss pillow right now.
I'm sure he is. Well, all right. Artazine.
Hurt people, hurt people.
Retake here, but
Actually,
MIBR
so true,
need a good
man.
round to get back into this one. The momentum that came off the back of Cortesia winning an important 1v1 just kind of got stifled a little bit by that tech pause.
What did Rossi say? Mate, what didn't Rossi
Dash
say?
forwards.
Go. If you want to know in the
Gain a bit of
pause,
main control
go
here with
back and
Cloud9.
watch the segment after the Lev
MIBR wants to
game.
look to re-clear mid. Drone gets broken out though, and they put a lot of pressure onto A. Spike still not committed to anything yet though.
I like this in terms of the C9 attack macro though. They keep Zeppa inserted over here, gives them options to return back over to A.
It's so powerful when you have a Euro on the insert too. Can stay longer than other agents and TP back, but MIBR, they're going to go for their second mid re-clear of the round, and they might have a brawl.
Very proactive. They're going to be meeting a lot of presence, as you mentioned. That brawl, the
Dude,
timing is taken against them. And
I hate
their
the
heads
dry
looks clean
walk
off.
over towards middle
Oxy
with a
rifle in
passion.
hands, now making moves.
It's always
Play
like
over towards
a
A. They're looking for
nightmare
the shortest one up as
going
well.
into
Fight's
the
potentially be
double.
taken. Really is Shane on a bit of an island.
Double island, dude, I love Oxy at the moment. He's playing this attack so nice. Every single time he's going to get traded with what he's doing.
Ace on the cards. Dash active. You know this guy is
Can't let him have it, man.
clamoring for it. He knows it.
Oi,
The mix
what that was
steals it
his,
away.
bro. That was his,
Tragic.
man.
Or smiles.
Tragic.
No, not all smiles.
Well, some smiles.
That's a smile of like, haha, yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, appreciate it.
What are you working for iBuyPower? Why are you upset?
This 2K from Oxy seals the deal.
It is. Sideshow's just in a bad mood now, man.
That attack's
He's
like
just
calling where you loop back
really in a
into
bad
mid to try
mood.
to catch the reaction. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he said no there at the end. I don't think he was saying woo.
Followed it with the woo after though.
He did.
Still a little excited about
Okay,
that
3
one.
chances for
The buy's
C9
horrible here for MIBR.
There's
If
just
they
been
need
too
to
many
win
mistakes
3
from
rounds in a
MIBR
row,
in
this one's
this
going to be the toughest.
defense
Oxy spot
half.
the outlaw. Makes the task even harder with 3 of these players on half armor.
And I do think that
I think you need to ask for another
Oxy is doing
Osboss
so
round
much
here. He
good.
has the hero rifle,
Speaking of
he has
Oxy,
the
he
full
can
armor.
one-shot 3 people at the moment.
No complaints from the way to Cloud9.
Probably going to
playing
think
it.
that he
Bit
can
of A pressure.
one-shot 4, I would
All these
imagine.
MIBR players heavy over towards this site. Macro game has been good. The prep game as well on top of it, to be honest. Cloud9 have been very
Okay, so the
well
call
versed.
is to one person fake
to
over
expect.
towards A, or at least drone it to keep 3 people there.
MIBR on B playing much more.
Ooh, I mean, he gets hit by the knife.
Than we saw from C9.
So knife goes in over towards A.
Cortesia
It
is
hits the
going for that
Sova,
jump
but
spot. as Mitch tries
Doesn't
to keep
change
players
too much,
anchored to
just
A.
drone, and now they knew
It's
about the
gonna be coming
info
through.
anyway.
Aspas is gonna be the one to take that
And
contact
Vono
on
is
point
going to get
still.
here in time
Delayed,
because of this
stalled out, at
wall.
least by the wall for now.
And Vono has
You're up into your
salvos if he
face.
wants to stall some more.
Cloudburst up, draft dash up and over with a flash to supplement.
Yeah,
Oxy
there they
trying
go
to be
in.
set up nice and cleanly
Ooh,
here.
for the
Tap to
swing,
side,
that's pretty
short
nice.
in your face, too much to overcome.
Dude,
If you are
Oxy again might have
Aspas,
owned this.
that heaven control is going to be vital now. Oxy lays claim to it, lays siege to it. MIBR
Dude, he's had a
slowly
great attack
being
half.
closed out. Any chances of taking this map more than dwindling at this point. 13 seconds, plenty of time to get this plant down.
I know exactly.
But a play has to be made, and Shane just not capable of doing it. Big reveal on Artisan. It's the last one left. It's all up to him to stay alive in this map for his team. And Cloud9 know it. Can play a more disciplined game here. Wait for him to take the peek
Very
into
nice
him.
from
and
C9.
your
This
Fangos
was a, I
got
mean,
it.
this was
It's
a
enough to
nice, it's a
seal
nice
it up
pearl.
here nice
It's a
and
fun,
early in
fun
this
pearl.
series. First map of Pearl.
Yeah,
going
those
away,
little
Cloud9.
mistakes from
And a
MIBR does
statement
cost
win for
them.
them.
And it was like
MIBR
really
was
early on in the
5-0
half
on
as
this
well.
map
So like
this
every time
year,
they made them, they
coming
kind of
off
had
of
to
beating
eco really.
G2 on Pearl. But the first
That
loss
the most criminal
by
one,
Cloud9
I know most people
with
would
a
say like the
truly
op
incredible
stuff,
second half
but I
there.
think that 2v4
Yeah, I think
was
you've
the
got to be
most
taking
criminal.
this C9 team seriously now. They're taking wins over a number of big names